Welcome. Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 67. So in this episode we'll be taking a little break, for this episode at least, from the Doctor Reviews because we've got to catch up on a few features, and the first feature that we need to catch up on is the third instalment of Find The. So if this is your first episode of the podcast that you are watching, welcome to the Everything Podcast family. And just a reminder or introduction of the rules: you have to guess 5 items. There'll be different sizes. You'll get 5 guesses per week, as will I. My guesses will be announced in the Find The segment, which obviously you need to comment your guesses in any video. Or you can comment your guesses in any video. Can you please comment #FindTheOut if all squares of your items have been guessed. If any of my guesses are correct, comment #FindTheHit with the relevant coordinate. If any of my guesses are incorrect, comment #FindTheMiss with the relevant coordinate. The theme changes every week, so the game resets every week. This week's theme, because it's what we've been reviewing, kind of, is Doctor Who Series 6. So the first item I want you to guess is River Song, who is 1 square long and 1 square wide. Second item is the 11th Doctor, who is 2 squares long and 2 squares wide. Number 3 is Amy Pond, who is 3 squares long and 3 squares wide. Number 4 is Rory Williams, with 4 squares long and 4 squares wide. And number 5 is The Silence, with 5 squares long and 5 squares wide. Just a reminder about it's similar to battleships, so you have 1 to 10 going down and A to G going across the top. So my 5 guesses for this week's Find That is E7, G10, A1, C9 and F4. So yes, please comment below your guesses, as well as if any of my guesses are correct. So that is it for this week's Find The. Now next up, so this week's challenge, which would have been yesterday's episode, I'm not doing that anymore. So I thought, okay, because it just was a feature that I was doing a feature for the sake of it, and I didn't really like doing that. So what I thought I would do is do something a little bit different, and it is called Timey-Wimey, and it's a audio drama that I'm going to perform, which will involve some snippets of music, which you can find the full songs in the description, as will. The sound effects have been provided by Epidemic Sounds, I think it's called. Yeah, Epidemic Sound, which you can find Google Play Store, Apple App Store and Amazon Store, I think, as well. So here is time. It is now time for Timey-Wimey, Episode 1. Here it is. University of Birmingham, 2023. Here we are, room CD 452. Where should I sit? Oh, I know. I'll sit right at the back so I won't have to answer any questions. Hi. Hi. Welcome to English Studies. As you know, this is room CD 452. You will have lessons 5 days a week from 9 to 12. Here are some individual tasks for you to complete by yourself. Very clear. I will now put you in pairs to complete this lesson's group activity. Charlie and Greg, you will be partners. That's it for today's lesson. See you tomorrow at 9. The previous events have just reoccurred another 14 times. So the first one, which were portrayed using words, and then 14 rewinds. And then it takes place another 4 times. Hey Charlie, where are all your friends? Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have any. What the hell are you doing? I had it handled. Do you call handling it given 7 shades kicked out of you, literally? I would understand if you were having my back if I was a friend of yours, but all of our interactions end up with me bullying you every single day, doing the exact same thing and getting you up against a wall. That's all true. But with us, it's just me and you, not to 10 to 12 on 1. What would happen if I didn't intervene? You could have had to be sent to hospital. Maybe it's that. Is that what you want? Of course not. How would you feel if your family had to be told that you were in hospital? Would you have wanted me to intervene then? We may not be friends, but we may not even like each other. But I will always have your back against bullies, as bullying is wrong. No ifs and no buts. Why don't I join you for lunch? Sure. Time's up. Greg, you're having lunch with me has not made the bullying any better. If anything, it has made the bullying worse. Because of this, I never want to speak to you ever again and to forget about the bullying incidents like they never happened. What? It's your decision. I may not agree with it, but I understand it. Is that Charlie crying? What do I do? Charlie said he never wanted to speak to me again. I need to make sure he's alright. Charlie, what's wrong? What are you doing here? I told you to never speak to me again. I saw you crying. I couldn't do nothing. Fine. I was crying because unlike you or any of the bullies, I have never and probably will never have any friends. And I bullied you amongst many others to make myself feel better and feel less alone or lonely. Charlie, you'll clutch your chest. I think you're having a panic attack. Take some deep breaths. Is that helping? Yes, it is. Thank you. I don't know what I've done if you weren't here. Can I walk home with you, child, just to make sure you don't have another panic attack? Or at least until you are with other people. Of course you can. Charlie and Greg walk home. Oh, there's a circus tent to see what acts they have. Why not? What is going on? I think we're moving. We're not just moving. We are flying. We've landed. Where are we? We're in Egypt. Doesn't look like present day Egypt though. You're right. There's Cleopatra. I learned about Cleopatra's reign in GCSE history. I think it's about 40 BC.
I'm Cleopatra, such a queen never been seen. I am a pharaoh, yet pharaoh, meant to be guys, but I don't care, oh, I just wear, oh, be a disguise. My mom and dad were pharaohs, I thought my was too, but both my older sisters thought they should rule too. Okay, they both
Timey-wimey, episode 2, trailer. Greg and Charlie try to find a way back home when the circus tent disintegrates as soon as Charlie and Greg land in ancient Egypt. Both Greg and Charlie's phones are out of charge. Charlie gets mistaken for a criminal and imprisoned, where Greg will have to rescue him. Greg has been named Deputy Pharaoh of Egypt. Yep, so that was episode 1 of Timey-wimey. Now, Timey-wimey, like all of the other features, will be hopefully one episode every week. So just a reminder, we've got another feature coming up today, and then tomorrow will be coming up this week, and then the next we've got inspirational quotes, book extracts, 3 and 30, Finder, Timey-wimey, and with the weekly quiz and recap coming up next. That's the way it should work. But because the story that I'm going to tell for Timey-wimey is 16 episodes long, and I want to get it done so for Series 3 Episode 1 on the 1st of January, it can be a nice clean slate. But there is not 16 weeks left. So the first 12 episodes will be weekly, and then episode 13, 14, or was it the first? Yeah, I think it's the first 12, 13, yeah, and then first 12, yeah, and then the first 13 episodes, will be weekly, then episode 14 will be on that's wrong, first 12, yes, I was right the first time. Which will go from today's day every week, and then the 28th, 29th, 30th and 31st of December episodes will all have Timey-wimey episodes on them. So coming up next, it's the final feature of this, for the first ever feature roundup, which will be your weekly recap and weekly quiz. Now it's time for this week's weekly recap for the Everything podcast. So episode 61, I reviewed Doctor Who Series 5 as well as Series 6 episodes 1 to 4. In episode 62, I reviewed Doctor Who Series 6 episode 5 to 10. In episode 63, I reviewed Doctor Who Series 11 to 13 as well as Series 7 episode 1 and 2. In episode 64, I reviewed Doctor Who Series 7 episode 3 to 5. Episode 65 was the 75th podcast episode, so I showed 2 previous episodes. Episode 66, I reviewed Doctor Who Series 7 episode 6 to episode 10. Obviously, in today's episode, we've had a feature roundup. Started off with Finder, then episode 1 of Timey-wimey, and the weekly recap. So that's the weekly recap coming up next. Before I head off for this episode and finish the episode, it will be your weekly quiz. Now it's time for this week's weekly quiz. So, question 1 is who plays the 11th Doctor in Doctor Who? Question 2 is who plays Amy Pond in Doctor Who? Question 3 is who plays Rory Williams in Doctor Who? Question 4, who plays River Song in Doctor Who? Question 5, what is the name of the Series 6 finale in modern Doctor Who? Question 6, what is the name of Series 7 Episode 1 in modern Doctor Who? Question 7, which episode of modern Doctor Who features the debut of Kate Stewart, played by Jenna Redgrave? Question 8, which episode of modern Doctor Who marks the final appearances of Amy Pond and Rory Williams? Question 9, which episode of Series 2 of the podcast marks the 75th episode? Question 10, name the episodes featured in the 75th episode. Question 11, who plays Clara Oswald in Doctor Who? And question 12, what is the name of Series 7 Episode 6 of modern Doctor Who? Now it's time for the answers. So question 1, I asked you who plays the 11th Doctor in Doctor Who, and that is Matt Smith. Question 2 was who plays Amy Pond in Doctor Who, that is Karen Gillan. Question 3, who plays Rory Williams in Doctor Who, that is Arthur Darvill. Question 4, who plays River Song in Doctor Who, that is Alex Kingston. Question 5, the name of the Series 6 finale in modern Doctor Who is The Wedding of River Song. Question 6, the name of Series 7 Episode 1 in modern Doctor Who is The Asylum of the Daleks. Question 7, which episode of modern Doctor Who features the debut of Kate Stewart? It is Season 7 Episode 4, which is titled The Power of 3. Question 8, which episode of modern Doctor Who marks the final appearances of Amy Pond and Rory Williams? It is the mid-season finale, Series 7 Episode 5, titled The Angels Take Manhattan. Question 9, which episode of Series 2 of the podcast marked the 75th episode? Now, if you've watched any other of the episodes, you would know that there was only 10 episodes of Series 1, so you need to add, 75 take away 10 will give you the answer, which is 65. It was Series 2, Episode 65. Question 10, name the episodes featured in the 75th episode. It is Series 2, Episode 44 and Series 2, Episode 47. Question 11, who plays Clara Oswald in Doctor Who? It is Jenna Coleman. And final question 12, what is the name of Series 7 Episode 6 of modern Doctor Who? It is The Bells of St. John. So that's not only it for the weekly quiz, as I've just given you the answers to, it's the end of this episode. So just a reminder that at the start of the episode, I started with the third installment of Finder, followed by the first episode of Timey Wimey, and the weekly quiz. So I will see you in the next episode, where I will be continuing my review of all of the modern Doctor Who episodes, starting off with Series 7, Episode 11, titled The Crimson Horror. That is it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 67. Goodbye.